I got that California.
What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotics, bringing you our Week 9 team builder for the ICBA. We are currently on a massive win streak, guys, and we want to keep it going into week number 9. There's only 2 weeks left of the regular season, and I believe if we win this game, we actually clinch playoffs, and we should be able to clinch our division as well, which is really cool, especially because we have a really strong division with guys like the OP Jellicent, Aaron 2420, and of course Tom Z. So it's really awesome that we're going to be in this position. So my opponent today is the Silesian Sceptiles. It is Paper. He is a pretty cool guy. He was in the ICBA with us last season as well. We didn't actually get the chance to play against him, and he's struggling right now. I believe he's 2 wins and 6 losses, or 3 wins and 5 losses, something like that. He's below 500, but he is a good player. He has a really interesting team with a lot of combo-centric Pokemon. He's got like Bulutran. He's got a nice ground type to pair with that in the Landorus Incarnate, so obviously Earthquake isn't immune to it, and I don't know why my OBS is glitching, so I'm sorry. I do my best to make it not, but I don't know why it just keeps doing that. Anyways, so our common question today is if you had to live in either minus 40 degrees Celsius or positive 40 degrees Celsius. I'm Canadian, guys, so we do temperature in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Which would you choose? For me, I would definitely have to say positive 40. I live in these Canadian winters and I hate them. I hate them. So yeah, 40 degrees is the answer. You can like take off clothes, but you can't. You can take off clothes, but you can never get warm enough to survive in minus 40. Anyways, let's get into the teams and stuff like that, and the team builders. So my opponent has a team of Mega Absol, Audino, Dragalge, Fortress, Heatran with Zemoos, Landorus Eye, Medicham with Zemoos, Mr. Mime, Regice, Rotom Wash, and Tapu Bulu with Zemoos. So very interesting Z users. Honestly, it makes a lot of sense. I kind of expect a Z Heatran to potentially be coming this game, but we'll get to that a bit later. Our team is Darkrai, which is our Z captain. We have Mew, Conkeldurr, Scolipede, Wizimus, Delmise, Kyurem, Gastrodon, Shuckle, Ditto, Musharna, and Mega Mawile. Now, I'm going to kind of go over my opponent's team. I'll go from the bottom 5 first, which are the 5 that I kind of least expect to be coming. So first off, there's the Audino. If it does come, Regenerator, it's going to be like a Wish Passer, pretty much it. Its stats really don't help it against me. I have a lot of physical threats. I have a lot of really hard hitters I can just set up all over this thing, so I don't see it coming that much. Then there's the Dragalge. If this thing was like at base 70 or base 80, it would be a for sure bring because it does so well against my team, outside of the Mega Mawile, of course, which is immune to both of its stabs. But at the end of the day, it's still a really hard hitter, and if it does outspeed me, let's say it decides to have a Trick Room out or something like that, that could be really threatening against me. There's the Fortress. This could come, but the Heatran is a better Steel type against me, so I think he's going to bring that instead. And obviously he does want to get up his Rocks and his Spikes against me if he does bring it, so I'll put that down. Rocks, and if I could get there, Rocks and the Spikes. So that's kind of what I'm expecting out of this Fortress. Then there's the Mr. Mime. I don't expect this to come, but I have to prep for it because I've been on the wrong end of a Mr. Mime game back in the day before I started YouTube. I believe it was just that thing just it beat me when it shouldn't have beat me, and because I didn't speed creep, I spec crept the base 85 instead of speed creep at base 90, which I should have, and it cost me the game. So I'm going to prep this Mr. Mime, even though it may not be coming. And there's the Medicham. It's really strong. It's a Z user form. I don't think it'll be coming because, first of all, my Mew would be able to handle it pretty easily. Same with my Gastrodon. So I have a couple different answers to a Medicham on my team, and I just don't think it has the speed or the offensive capabilities to really be present on my roster. But with that being said, we'll move on to what I expect him to bring. And to start off, there's the Mega Absol. This thing is definitely coming. It's really against my team. I'm going to assume he's going to have Knockoff and Sucker Punch. Also, probably Play Rough. If you look at my team, I have a Conkeldurr. I have a Darkrai, which resists his stab, so having that would be really good as well. I also have Kyurem, which can potentially, well, not resist his stab, but it does a bit more damage to me if I, with Play Rough than with Knockoff. But yeah, and then looking at the rest of my team, he really has a hard time in breaking down Mawile with these, so I'm going to put down Fire Blast, and that's kind of what I'm expecting to come. If not Fire Blast, then Swords Dance. I think that makes a lot of sense. He's going to have speed for my Mew here, or yeah, probably my Mew here, because he probably doesn't want to, yeah, like I don't think he's going to be creeping my my Scolipede here, so I'm assuming he's going to have speed for my Mew. Next up, those is the Tapu Bulu. I'm probably expecting an Assault Vest set, to be honest. Assault Vest, or even the Cabiberry with like Horn Leech, with like Stone Edge, with I don't know, which is think I'll play off that would be like, okay, super easy to play off, but you get the other points. Hornleech, Stone Edge, I think are pretty much guarantees with this set. It's a really good against me. I think Stone Edge is there pretty much just for the Scolipede. He'll probably have superpower or something to deal with my Kyurem a bit more effectively, but yeah, like, and in worst case he'll have a Wood Hammer, which will still do a ton of damage to my resists, which would be my Mega Mawile, for example, or even my Scolipede, even though it's ×4 resisted. Moving on though, the Heatran, this is going to be his rocker, I feel like, so Stealth Rock is really important. I think this is going to have Lava Plume or Flamethrower. Actually, I'll put Flamethrower, I think that's a bit more likely just for the damage. I'm assuming he's going to have Flash Cannon as well to deal with my Kyurem, Flash Cannon. And then the last move, I don't really know what it could be, maybe Toxic, maybe Taunts, but basically these three moves I'm kind of expecting to be coming. And he could potentially be a Stelium Z set. I think that's going to be a really good bring against my team, so I'm going to put Stelium Z there. And if not, if he isn't an offensive set, then I think it'll be a especially offensive spread, so I'll try and put that down as best as I can. So I'm thinking especially defensive might be really good, or maybe physically defensive, but I think especially defensive just makes a little bit more sense. Then there's the Landorus here. This thing I'm expecting to be Life Orb. It can obviously have Sheer Force. It is his Uber Pokemon, so I think I'm going to put in U-Turn here for him. I think he's going to have Earth Power for sure. And I look at the rest of my team. I think Hidden Power Fire makes sense against me. But I don't know if he's going to run that, because looking at his team, if he really gets chipped down by Rocks and by Life Orb Recoil from Hidden Power Fire and from U-Turn, that's really going to wear down his Landorus, so my Pokemon can clean up for him. But I don't know. I think a Life Orb set is pretty obvious. Maybe a Choice Scarf set could be coming, but I don't think it'll be coming. He loses out on so much power from not being Life Orb. Moving on though to our Rotom, well, not to our Rotom, but to his Rotom. I think he's going to bring this. I think it's a very good pivot against me. Helps him deal with the Darkrai if this is his specially defensive wall. Also helps him with the Conkeldurr if it's a physically offensive wall. Same with Scolipede. I definitely think there's going to be Volt Switch. I think there's going to be Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump, and probably Pain Split to deal with my Gastrodon. So I think that's a very good bring for him, and probably the leftovers as well. I think that's a pretty obvious set. And again, I could be either physically defensive or specially defensive. I'll put specially defensive for now. Actually, you know what? I'll put physically defensive since I think it's a bit more likely, since the Heatran's a better special wall for him anyways. Moving on though, I think the Regice is actually a pretty good bring here. Surprisingly, it's a Regice. Like, I have a couple really strong Pokemon. I have a Darkrai, which has access to Z Focus Blast. I have a Conkeldurr, which is super good on the physical side. Obviously, is really nice there. Scolipede is really good on the physical side as well. Same thing with Delmise and Mega Mawile. So why do I think he's going to bring it? Well, because I think a Rock Polish set with Weakness Policy is actually really good against me. Potentially with something like Ice Beam, with Focus Blast, and oops, that's Focus Punch. I want to put Focus Blast and then Flash Cannon as well. I think that's a really good set against me, and he can outspeed a lot of really important threats. And with the plus from Weakness Policy, he can do a lot of work. So I gotta be careful when I play around this thing, but I do expect it to be coming. But anyways, guys, that's what is going on his team. That's what I expect him to bring. Let me know what you guys think I will be bringing. I'll be going over that right now. So make sure to go down in the comments. Let me know what you think will be coming on my side. Alright, so first up, as you can see, is our Conkeldurr Scrappy here. Scrappy is a really interesting set this week with a very unique EV spread. I'll kind of go over it a bit more in detail. So Conkeldurr sub is never broken by a neutral knockoff from Absol. It's actually got a 3 out of 16 chance for it to break to Bulu's Hornleech if I'm at +2 defense. I'm also never OHKO'd by Modest Specs Flash Cannon from Heatran or Timid Specs Flamethrower. We're also never 2-KO'd by any non-boosting Heatran, and the speed is there just in case of the Audino. Running Drain Punch, Ice Punch, Bulk Up, and Substitute. It's a really good dual coverage against him. Drain Punch for recovery, Ice Punch for his Bulu and his Landorus, for example. And Drain Punch just hits everything else really well. The only thing that really is okay with taking hits on this thing is like the Mr. Mime, kind of, and the Medicham, and that's like if it's defensive. So if I get some Bulk Up stuff, then it's going to be pretty much game with this thing. It's a really cool set that I finally decided to bring. The next mon that we're going to be bringing is actually going to be our Darkrai here. So the TKO, the Darkrai, is finally here. We have speed for, I believe it's the Mega Absol here. We then have them rest in special attack and with the leftovers in HP. We have Nasty Plot, of course, because we are going to try and break things. We have Ice Beam for his obviously strong ice weaknesses, and then the Focus Blast, of course. I said before that fighting and ice coverage are really good. I have Z Focus Blast because I don't want to miss, and punching a hole in the Heatran is very important, so that's why I have the Z Focus Blast. And then I have Dark Pulse here because Stab Dark Pulse is always good on Darkrai. Moving on though to our next mon, we actually have our Scolipede here. Now Scolipede AJ is really good in this matchup. Earthquake, Poison Jab, Aqua Tail, and Swords Dance. If I get rid of Terrain, then I can pretty much win the game with Scolipede from that +2 Aquatail is there solely for the Landorus. I can't really hit it well otherwise, so I have Aquatail on the set. I would like to have Mega Horn to hit the Rodent for more than Poison Jab, but I need to have Aquatail just because of the chance the Landorus comes and potentially can like live a hit at +2. I need to be careful for that. Our speed is here for the Landorus actually, because if he is a Scarf Landorus, then I want to make sure that I can outspeed him at +1. That way I don't have any issues there, so I gotta be safe with that. Moving on though, we have Tails here, our Mew. I'm going to kind of go over a bit of the EV spreads here and kind of like what I was thinking. So basically our speed here is for Medicham. I have Roost because obviously need recovery. I have Defog there because I do think the Fortress or the Heatran is a potential bring, and I need to keep rocks up off my side of the field. So far I have my Scolpy, which is weak to rocks, and my Darkrai, which doesn't want to take rocks. I also have Drain Punch and Ice Punch here because, again, like I said before, Ice and Fighting coverage is really good against this team. I should have run the Aura Sphere and the Ice Beam, but I didn't, so whoops. But I did want to run a Nasty Plot set again. I was debating Nasty Plot, Vacuum Wave, Ice Beam, and Psyshock, but I really wanted the recovery, and I have the Culver Berry here just to deal with the Mega App, so I can take a knockoff, and then Drain Punch back up a ton of health, and then potentially I'll live another knockoff, who knows, depending on the amount of HP we get back, so I'll stick to that. So yeah, moving on though, we do actually have next up, which is our Kyurem here. So Austin, our Kyurem, is a leftover set. It's also a subset. We have Ice Beam, Sub, Toxic, and Roost. This spread is interesting-ish. I have Kyurem, which is, it's really good against everything pretty much. The only thing that I really can't take a hit, well, that can deal with it well is his Heatran, because I'm not carrying the Earth Power, but he's gonna have to fear that. The speed there is for Mr. Mime. Again, I've been threatened by Mr. Mime before. I don't want to be beaten by it again, so it's not happening. My substitute is also never broken by Dazzling Gleam on Audino. That's just to be safe. I really want to make sure that my sub wasn't be broken by random things. My sub's been broken by Rotom. That's like the main thing, based on like what I expect him to bring. That's the main thing I'm bringing this thing in. I'm setting a sub on, and it's really scary because Ice Beam is really good against this team. And then finally, the last mon I'm bringing is my Ditto here. Ditto is really nice against this team just because he has a ton of immunities that I think would be very important. We have the IVs for Hidden Power Ground, just to be safe, because I want to be able to hit that Heatran for a really good damage. And then we're Imposter with a Choice Scarf. Self-explanatory, but if he wants to go for your fire move, I can switch into my Ditto, get Flash Fire, and then proceed to go for Hidden Power Ground or Earth Power or whatever he has on his set. And then if he goes in, and then the Landorus, same thing. I'm immune to his stab as well. What else? What else am I immune to the stab for? I also take Mega Absol's knockoffs for days, pretty much. Obviously lose my Choice Scarf, but it's fine. I resist the hit. I can take a hit from that. What else? The Medicham, I can take a high jump kick, I guess, and then fire back. And I do trace the Pure Power, Pure Power. So yeah, honestly, I feel like I have a good team here with my Ditto, my Kyurem, my Mew, Scolpede, Darkrai, and Conkeldurr. It's a really nice squad. Can we move to 7 wins and 2 losses? I don't know. You guys will be able to find out tomorrow though. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video, and of course subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit the little bell icon next to my name so you get alerted for when I post new videos. We are closing in on 500 subscribers still. If you guys have been enjoying the content, I really suggest subscribing if you haven't already, and go down in the description to check out my Discord server, which is linked down there in every single one of my videos. There you can join the server, and there's a ton of awesome stuff there, guys. We're gonna be starting the Ocean League Season 2, and you guys don't want to be missing out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.